right, Rostermania continues on, not only in the North American scene, but in the APAC North scene as well. All regions alike, many people are tying stories together as the teams that you're seeing now compete with one another inside of the Esports World Cup. Seems to be a little alarming, and I think it's a little bit of a different story than what we thought we were going to see. So, like the video, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all things inside the scene. Firstly, we need to answer the question, what is happening with FaZe Clan? So Snipedown did answer a question recently on stream that I think made a lot of people scratch their heads. What's going on? Are they going to get back involved? So recently you may have seen a tweet where FaZe Clan got back. Banks came out to say he got the passwords back. He got rid of a lot of the content creators. They moved on and unpartnered with a lot of these people they were with. They're trying to build back the OG FaZe. Well, in that we wondered, well, they're still going to stick around for Apex or not? They came out to say, here's our teams that we're going to focus on. Counter-Strike this, Valorant, blah, 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 whatever. They go in all of these games. Apex Legends was one of those games that they said they would still be around in. So, of course, that was a big positive thing to see because they are a part of this partnership or program that's going on with Apex, and we don't want another team to leave like Optic did because it just makes it seem like that partner program means nothing. EA's not helping at all, and this esports going to go downhill. Well, someone had asked, now that Snipe's playing with Shuby and Dropped, what's going on with FaZe? Will you guys be representing FaZe for the Esports World Cup? Snipedown responded and said no. We think we will just be representing ourselves. So this was coming from the last night's stream with Dropped. And so maybe some people are starting to draw conclusions here that what is FaZe doing? They've said they're getting back involved. Are they lying? Are they going to leave? Or are they going to go for a free agent roster that's available? Are they going to go for another region? Are they targeting the super team right now that Dark Zero consists of? With the Imperial, Hal, Zero, and Jin Burton squad. Of course, I highly doubt that they're doing the latter. I think FaZe might look to get in with someone like the Meat Lovers who, just barely got into Pro League, or maybe an EMEA team that they can invest in that's a little bit cheaper so that, that they still have trust in, right? Like, I think the Meat Lovers have a clear case to actually do pretty solid inside of Pro League if they can get their things together. And I don't think that they're a bad team to invest in. So I like FaZe going after a roster like that. I do think, honestly, you might hate me for this, but I think that the Zero, Jin Burton, and Imperial Hal roster is too much. I think they're too expensive. I get it. They're great. And we're going to talk about how they did in last night's scrims. But I just don't think, like Dia said, that they're that much better. They're definitely not worth that price. The only thing that would make sense is if you're filthy stinking rich, you got so much money to throw at it, and hint, Saudi Arabia organizations. And I think that makes sense with the whole Team Falcons getting involved with the Esports World Cup as well. Also wanted to mention, go next, some Rostermania and some more, I guess, announcements and also speculations going on. More trials continuing. Go Next did come out to confirm their team, their roster, Kashira, Slab, and Kaishi. I really like this team. A lot of experience in all of this as well. Hopefully I pronounced Kaishi's name correct, but this guy's been playing for quite some time. Kashira has been playing since the dawn of time. Slab's been with Go Next for a while as well. So I'm interested to see how all these puzzle pieces come together. This is a problem we have in Apex where we have a lot of experienced players. Rostermania comes down, you think, well, maybe this team will click. It doesn't always happen that way. So there's three good individuals here, and I like that. But will it mesh together? Will it go according to plan? Obviously interested to see your thoughts as well. Now, this one has a little bit more controversy behind it. Native Gaming is a team we have been waiting to see better results from. Of course, they've got the experience. RKN has got a long history inside of Apex and proven IGL, especially with the work he did over at the Guard. Rambo, no different story either. A really talented controller player, also on the Guard, also with some good history behind that. And then also he had that Guard splitting up. It looks like Rambo's going to go to Dark Zero. He was a very prominent controller player that everyone was wanting at the time. I can't say that that's the case anymore, and I still love Rambo, and I hope the best for Rambo, but we're waiting to see results come out of this, and it hasn't happened yet. Well, we've wondered who's going to be the third puzzle piece. They've been playing with some other people, blah, blah, blah. Slayer came out, and now he's a part of their team when it comes to Face It. Obviously, Face It seems to be what is widely used for a lot of tournaments out there. And, of course, Esports World Cup as well is having their own system. So this is amongst Face It. You've got ALGS, Battlefy rosters. People are looking at the transactions page. That's where we're getting all sorts of information from. So this is where these rosters are coming from, and a lot of people have something to say. It's not a bad environment for Slayer. I do think, hey, on all things considered, Slayer is an upgrade for this native roster, in my opinion. The question is is Native happy with this? Obviously, Native looking at the Rostermania going down, they're trying to get pick of the litter. Do they feel like they've won in Rostermania? I think the viewers beg to differ at this point, but that's a part of owning an organization. That's a part of being a player. You've got to put stock in people that sometimes no one else believes in, like LG did last split with Slayer and Funk, and see how things go. So interested to see how it all falls into place, but a lot of people had something to say about this one, to say the least. Also, Riddle Order came out to announce their change. Umichan Lavetti, this guy, once again experienced with Fnatic, once again experienced with Pulverex, didn't get the result they expected or wanted with Pulverex. Riddle Order, also a team inside of the APAC North region, didn't get the result they wanted this split. Well, they made the announcement that Umichan Lavetti will now be joining this organization, and I think this is a much needed change. Obviously, things didn't work out with Melstera, and I think that he's also going to go play with a different team as well. So I'm excited to see where that one goes. But I think that we expected the APAC North roster swap besides Fnatic, besides Reject Winity. So we'll see how it goes at the end of the day, but I think all eyes are on these big powerhouse organizations: Fnatic, Reject Winity, Riddle Order, some others as well. Sadly, Pulverex has been closing their operation, so you will no longer see them. Also got an announcement: organizations coming back. Nine Lives Esports, of course, in the last Pro League split, now coming back and making their announcement today. At the time of recording, this is not out, so of course make sure to follow us over on Twitter if you guys want to get that live update. Otherwise, it'll be in tomorrow's video. Lastly, wanted to mention Free Agent Friday. Here's basically what's going on. We're still in trial period. TSM has been trialing Zapto. Many other people have been trialing stuff. Reps also kind of figuring out if he's going to be the IGL or not. Are they going to get a different IGL? What's going to go on with TSM? Well, here's a little bit of a recap. Of course, a lot of things to consider here. So some teams from the Esports World Cup qualifiers, you had Zenile, Duplex, and Asivian. This is the roster that we thought Snipedown was going to play with, and he was trialing with at one point. But then you had Arcology, Akimbo, a Warrior Soul, I'm hoping is Blinkster, but I haven't really been familiar with this team or with this name. So maybe it's a different guy that I'm not aware of. Zera, Panders, and Void. This is an interesting one because Void, obviously, with Pro League Team EC, they did not have a lot of success with Void. They parted ways. And sadly enough, I love EC, I love Void, but yes, EC did get much better after that change took place. Void trying to find his footing back into this. Zera and Panders also went their own ways, coming back together now. It's like, honestly, you'll notice from a lot of these trials going on, it's a bunch of outcasts coming together at this point. Now that the super teams have been made, these guys are having to come back and, believe in one another and hope that they can make a miracle run again. So you've also got Knock, Fun, and Reptar. I don't think many people expected Reptar to be involved, but I think we've seen he's definitely proven himself. He's got a lot of good experience, and I'm interested to see where this one goes as well. Vayne, Aiden, and Frex. This is a probable, this is probably one you could guess, right? Frex making the change from SSG. He had to go find a new place. Reeds was exploring options. I honestly think Frex is a good fit for Oxygen. I hope they can get things, kind of dialed in here. But I don't think Oxygen took an L on this. I think Frex is a good player to consider on your roster, so I'm excited for this one. Then Native, of course, we just made mention of Rambo, RKN, and Slayer. And then one I think everybody's hoping will get some good results. We all love Dropped. I think everybody likes Snipe and Shubi to some degree. These are big name players and powerhouse names inside of the ALGS, inside of Apex in general. But they're a team that, once again, are a bunch of outcasts, right? Optic didn't do well. Optic leaves. Everybody leaves the roster. Nox going to E8. Skittles doing God knows what. And then Dropped comes out. He's by himself. Snipes by himself after all those roster changes. Shubi gets pushed to the side after the changes that they want to make and looking for offers. So they come together to form their own team. So interested to see how that one falls into place. Now, at the time of recording, the Scrim results are not out, but I'll kind of just run down what happened. And maybe if they are out at the time of editing, my editor can kind of post these here. But long story short, top three were NGNL. Dark Zero was up in there. E8 was involved in there as well. NGNL was probably the biggest surprise. They're not a team or a roster you're probably very aware of. This was Rails, J-Trips, and Wave. I think this is a team that a lot of people, at the end of the day, look, over the years of Apex Esports, you're going to have new rosters come up that start to steal the show, and players that you're not very aware of coming out of challengers. You saw that with Koifel. You saw that with many others. Verholst was one fun to do that as well. So, hey, you never know who the next big thing is going to be. But NGNL did not do good, 3 days ago inside of Scrims, 19th place. But here they are winning this Scrim result. Now, at the end of the day, yeah, there was only 18 teams playing. I know it's not taken that serious. But Dark Zero not winning in an 18-team thing, Scrim going on. Once again, I think it proves the point that they are probably going to be the most consistent team. Definitely a team that, might be worth investing in if you got a lot of money. But I don't think they're going to just come out and blow the competition away and win every single thing every single time. So that's just my take on that. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Who do you think won Rostermania? Which teams are looking the best? And who do you think needs to be picked up by what team? And until the next time, we'll see you all later, Gators.